This is Cooper. Cooper is a second grader at Fisher Elementary in Frisco, Texas. He is one of 2 siblings. He has 2 parents that he lives with as well. He always looks forward to Fridays, but one thing about the weekends he doesn't look forward to is going home to an empty pantry, which means an empty stomach, which means a very long weekend. And he likes to sit down with his family, but what he doesn't really like is that he gets to share this pork and beans with his whole family, just 1 can. And then, 1 bowl of cereal within the family of 5. So he hates to admit it to himself, but he wants to go back to school on Monday so he can have a whole tray of lunch to himself because he's starving. And then he has to say, well, stay awake in class because he doesn't want to fall asleep. He needs to listen. You got to stay awake. Your eyes are too heavy. So there's over 68,000 kids just like Cooper, just in North Dallas. And because of this, in North Dallas alone, there's over 68,000 more children like Cooper. And this food insecurity doesn't just happen on the weekends. Think about Thanksgiving. They go 2 weeks. They go 2 weeks. They try to fill their backpacks up with the food that they get from lunch, just so they can last. And you think about their neighbors. They're gonna have a whole table full of pies, turkey, stuffing, and they're sitting there with nothing at their table. Maybe a can of soup to last them 2 weeks. And so, this food insecurity occurs all throughout Texas, but in North Dallas alone, there is over, Texas ranks number 2 out of the entire country in food insecurity. And children alone is number 7 in Texas, North Dallas specifically. And food insecurity, it means that they lack consistent access to food. And all the household numbers, they have to pay for their medicine, they have to pay for their utilities and their lodging. So food comes last. So they're just starving. But how does this affect kids like Cooper? How does it affect all his friends at school that are also doing the same thing on the free and reduced lunch program? And even if they're not on the free and reduced lunch program? Well, they have reduced attention in class because they're too sleepy. They have behavioral issues, sometimes tendency in suicidal or depression. And also increased school absences because they just can't get out of bed or because their parents can't even get them to school. They can't get up to go to the bus. They miss the bus. According to the Morgan Project, food is the fuel necessary to get through the day. Children are experiencing hunger and are more likely to have problems with memory and concentration. So they really want to do well on this test, but they're like, man, I forgot because I was too tired when I was studying. And they don't have enough energy to carry out those functions. They don't even want to go to PE because they said, I didn't have breakfast, and I didn't have dinner last night, and I didn't have lunch the day before. So malnutrition can make a child too tired to even go through the day of school. And according to this map, right over here, this is where it shows that in North Dallas alone is the concentration of number 7 in child food insecurity, according to the Map of Meal Gap study. And so I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to Sam, my associate.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about who we are, Kroger, and we're partnering with Love Packs, the organization to fuel hungry children in the North Dallas education system. To start off, I'm going to talk to you about what Kroger stands for basically and what we've achieved to help this issue. Kroger has a long history of bringing help and hope to the communities we serve. Since our earliest days, the Kroger family has taken care of our neighbors and each other. We're an industry leader in hunger relief, sustainability, and supporting local communities, achieving national recognition for our innovative and generous work. We've been long partners with Feeding America, achieving in 2015 276 million meals donated to the Bringing Home to the Table program, along with nearly $290 million worth of perishable goods were contributed in our name in 2015 as well. Alongside that, $34.2 million were provided to support schools through the Box Top Education Program. Alongside that, we strongly believe that no child should be stripped away of having a normal life. That is why we chose Love Pack to help serve our kids in the Dallas community. And from there, I'll pass it off to Brendan to talk about more on Love Pack.
Okay. So there were 4 original founding families in the colony that found 6 children were going home and stuffing, like I said, food in their backpacks to go home because they didn't have enough. And then they decided to go look into that. 73% of the children going to that one school were below the poverty line. And they said, we need to do something about this. So we need to get volunteers together and we need to start feeding these kids because this isn't okay. So they decided to start a Facebook page. They launched a lot of their Facebook pages to get volunteers to sign up and help pack these goods. This is a box right here, and this is what they decided to get started. People started pouring in money and started pouring in food because they realized the need here in the schools. So they use non-perishable foods to last because they don't want the food to go bad. These kids just need to be fed. The students are identified through the free and reduced lunch programs, and counselors as well help to see if the kids are in need in classrooms. And they use all the local volunteers to sign up. And Fast Pack is one of the long weekend packs. So Martin Luther King weekend is a good weekend that they use. Holiday Packs is considered a spring break weekend. So they get about 20 to 30 people together, and they'll do a couple packs for that. And a mega pack is Christmas and Thanksgiving break. 1 to 2 of them, and they use about 50 to 60 volunteers, so it takes about 1 to 2 of those packs because they need huge boxes. These people can't carry these boxes alone. They need like crates to pick these up because it's a very long week. But it feeds 3 kids for each box. And so I'm going to continue to explain that these are the communities. So here in Louisville and the colony are the originating communities. In Frisco, there's 28 of them. And these are all growing. This is just from this past year's numbers. So they're growing and they need more people, they need more transportation, and they need more food and money consistently because there's just growing communities in general. And so what I want to explain is in this box. Right here, I want you to just soak it in as I explain it. I want you to imagine sitting with 3 of your siblings and enjoying this for 1 week. Just 1 week between the 3 of you. I'll let my associates hold this. The food is supplied from local Aldi stores, and all the volunteers go to shop for this. And this is the servings that they get. And they get to split it up and watch their servings. And so these are going to be packed by portions. For each break, depending on the length, they portion size it. And they have to watch what they spend so that they can equally contribute it between each of the students. So let's say I want to share this with my sibling. I get to say, okay, you get a spoonful, and you get a spoonful, and you get a spoonful. And now we got to make it last for 2 weeks. Here you go. And it's so nutritious and delicious. But as long as they're being fed, they'll at least stay awake during class. So now Andrew's going to go ahead and explain, Austin is going to head and explain our events that will help raise money and awareness for this.
Okay. All right, so we have the Spring Break Volunteer Kickoff. It's going to be held at the Westin Stonebriar Hotel from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on March the 13th. We're basically going to reserve 2 large banquet rooms where we're going to be packing the mega pack for all the 69 North Dallas schools that the Love Packs communities donate to. That adds up to 69,000 meals we're putting together in a single day. So that's a lot of meals, right? So we're basically taking all the Love Packs volunteers and the Kroger employees and putting them in the banquet rooms and trying to get that done. There will be food and drinks provided for them throughout the day. So the donations will be purchased by Kroger from Aldi, and we're also using Kroger's semi-trucks to get the donations to the hotel. And from there, once all the meals are packed, we're taking the semi-trucks and shipping the boxes and the meals back to the 69 schools. So from there, the parents can either pick up the meals from the school, or upon special requests, they can have police officers, community police officers, take it to their house if they choose to do that. All right, next slide. And we're also doing a carnival. We're calling it the Kroger Carnival. So it's taking place at the Prestonwood Church parking lot from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Saturday, April 1st. It's going to be, there's free parking, and it's $5 admission for adults, but kids are free. It's put on for the Love Packs and the Kroger communities, as well as the North Dallas families. Our goal is to help raise awareness and donations for the Love Packs organization and have some family fun and bring the community together while we're at it. Alright, so it's going to be run by the Love Packs and Kroger volunteers. There's going to be a face painter, go fish tanks, cakewalks, a dunk tank. We're going to have some tug of war, a bounce house, and more. There's plenty of food and drinks for everybody. So as Brendan said earlier, all advertising and marketing is done through social media. So we're going to do all or most of the marketing through Love Packs Facebook pages and their website. But we're also going to have Kroger advertise through their website and all of their store locations across North Dallas. So from here, I'm going to hand it off to Andrew to talk about our financials.
All right, so first a quick timeline. We're going to spend the first week of March doing this volunteer pack event that we talked about. That'll pack these boxes so kids have food over spring break, so that would be this week. And then after that, we're going to spend the rest of March planning the carnival that we talked about, which will be held on April 1st. And we also hope to plan to work with Love Packs in the future for volunteer packs, fundraising, and helping them reach their long-term goals. So let's break down some numbers now. One of these boxes, as Brendan said, feeds 3 kids, and it costs $71.09. There's 69 schools that we're planning on helping in the North Dallas area with 100 kids per school, so that's 6,900 kids that we need to feed. But since one of these feeds 3 kids, we need 2,300 boxes. So 2,300 times the $71.09 gives us $163,507. This is all covered by donations. This is not what we're asking the chamber for. This will be brought in by the people coming to the carnival and donating. This is just to show you how much it costs to feed these kids for 1 week. So for the volunteer kickoff, we're going to rent 2 banquet rooms to help pack the food at a cost of $800 per room. We're also going to have water and snacks for the people packing, so that's $350. And then lastly, we're going to spend about $75 decorating the room just to make it a little bit more enjoyable. It's not work. We're here to have fun. We're here to serve, and we're here to help the kids. So that's a total event cost of $2,025 for the volunteer event. Next up, we have the carnival. Our event space is going to equal $6,680 to rent out the parking lot, to provide chairs and tables and other things that you need to throw a carnival. Our games, the face paint, the go fish, the cakewalk, everything Austin talked about will equal $545. And then all the foods, the cotton candy, the hot dogs, your popcorn, anything that you think would be at a carnival, we totaled up, and that equals $1,221. And then lastly, you need hygiene. If you're going to be at a carnival, you need bathrooms, you need hand washing stations, because carnivals are gross sometimes. So that'll equal $1,300 for a total event cost of $8,576. So with this event, we're hoping to raise awareness, gather the community to serve, and raise money for Love Packs. Together, these 2 events are going to cost $11,770. We're asking the Dallas Chamber of Commerce to contribute half of that at $5,885. As Kroger teams with Love Packs, we will empower these kids to better their education box by box. Are you ready to help?